This has not been the season Sonny Gray had hoped for. Gray was just not himself this summer. Injuries and inconsistencies plagued Gray as he could not get back to last year's All-Star form. But tonight, Sonny will take the hill after a near 2-month absence. Last year's Cy Young candidate will try and forget about this year and look forward to another year wearing the green and gold and reestablishing himself as the true #1 on this athletic staff. Sonny and the A's take on the Angels, and it starts right now. Final game of the series, and it is also game number 158 for the Athletics, and it's great to have Sonny Gray back. He will take them out tonight and help the A's try to salvage the final game in the series, as it's been all Angels so far. So, game 3, A's-Angels coming up on CSN, California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. You saw Sonny Gray, and it is indeed great to have him back. It's been a struggle year for Sonny Gray, but I think A's still have full confidence in Sonny Gray that he's going to come back next year and he's going to be the ace of old.
I think the biggest thing about Sonny Gray is to forget about his one-loss record, his ERA. Just look at the fact tonight he's coming back. He's going to be able to start. See, the last time he did start, it's been a while, but he's only going to pitch 1 inning, and then Ross Detweiler is going to take over at that time. But I think if you look at Sonny Gray, what you expect tonight, have him take the mound after warming up the bullpen, take the mound for an inning, take a shower, go home, feel great tomorrow, and that's going to enable him to feel great during the offseason, get ready for next spring.
Now the Angels, like the A's, looking at younger players in the second half, specifically Jeffrey Marte, and what the A's have seen from him. He looks like the real deal. He's been tough on the Athletics.
He's a very versatile player. He can hit, and that's one of the biggest things. The Angels, they like the offense. Sac fly here is a walk-off. When the A's were down here a little bit earlier, that was a big one there. But watch the power from this young man going opposite field, and in the grand slam last night, he has tremendous power, and I think that's what the Angels are looking for in addition to his versatility. The fact that they've been looking for a left fielder for a long time, they may have found it in this young man. This was a slam straight away center field last night. Turned out to be a big hit for the Angels, but I think they may have found a player who can play different positions. They need a left fielder. He may be the answer.
All right, Alex Meyer, young right-hander, is going to pitch for the Angels. They got him in that trade with the Twins at the deadline. So that is your pitching matchup, Sonny Gray, but only for a short time tonight against Alex Meyer. And again, the A's trying to salvage the final game of the series. Lineups coming up.
on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by America's Tire. Your low-price journey starts here.
Third and final game of this series. Final matchup between these two teams this year. A's will board the plane and head to Seattle for a 4-game series. After the ball game tonight, try to get a win in this series. As the Angels getting set to take the field, and now they do take the field. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. Nice night, 85 degrees. Not a whole lot of a breeze, but had 3 warm days here in Southern California. It will not be warm in Seattle. That's okay.
It's perfect.
All right, let's look at the lineup for the Athletics tonight. It starts with Joey Wendell, then Stephen Vogt, who will DH. Ryan Healy, a .359 batting average in his last 39 games. Well, he has been fun to watch. Chris Davis is in left. Then it's Yonder Alonso at first, Danny Valencia in right, Marcus Semien at short. Bruce Maxwell will be behind the dish, and Jake Smolinski gets the start in center field.
And the right-hander, the rookie right-hander, Alex Meyer, on the mound as he is making his second start against the Athletics. One of those coming back in the early part of September, a game in which he went very short, pitched just in the 4th inning, walked 5 batters in that game, and Mike Scioscia took him out. And even though he did not give up a run himself, the bullpen did, and he picked up the loss as Jarrell Cotton made his debut and picked up his first win. So, I think you've said it before, this young man acquired for the purpose of having the rotation in the future. Yeah. And so Ricky Nolasco last night, and Meyer also from that same team.
Defensively, Marte will be in left, Robinson in center, Calhoun in right. Cowart, Simmons, Petit, Crone on the infield. Jet Bandy is your catcher. Mike Trout is in the lineup tonight. He will DH. So Meyer, the big, tall right-hander, wrapping up his warm-up tosses. A's come in with a 67-90 record. They are not finishing strong, but they still have a chance to have a good weekend. They have lost 7 out of their last 8, and they're 33-43 on the road. And as always, we'll keep a close eye on the important games going around Major League Baseball, with still some unfilled spots, especially in the 2 wild card situation. So we'll keep an eye on the games of importance as Joey Wendell steps in. And we're set for baseball. Alex Meyer, big right-hander. Kicks and deals, in the first pitch is a fastball just a little bit low.
Good velocity in his fastball. The 2 and 4 seam fastball for Meyer is Joey Wendell again at second base tonight, getting a chance to not only play second, but lead off for the Athletics.
Wendell is 1 for 8 in this series. And the count is now even at 1-1. The umpires tonight, that's Tom Woodring calling balls and strikes. Larry Vanover is your crew chief. He's down at first. And then Alfonso Marquez and Ryan Blackney. So the A's offense has been very quiet in this series. It's been quiet for a while. See if that can change tonight. Fastball at 94 runs off the plate from Myers. Myers is 26 years old. He's 6'9", 225 pounds.
When you walk as many batters as you did against the Athletics, then control seems to be an issue, something the A's would like to take advantage of. They did not in that game.
Bounce toward third, backhanded by Cowart. Good arm, and throws out Joey Wendell.
Seems like Cowart's going to wait till you get about almost to the bag, and then he's going to unload.
Show off that arm.
Yeah, he's got a strong arm, and he is showing it off.
So Myers was a first-round draft pick of the Washington Nationals, the 23rd pick taken in the 2011 draft. He was then traded from Washington to Minnesota in 2012 for Denard Span.
Yep.
And then Meyer traded, as we've said, from the Twins to the Angels at the trade deadline. I think watching him pitch, Ray, you can see why he's a top prospect. I think he's got a great arm. but he's also maybe not quite all there just yet as far as being a refined big league pitcher. But the Angels like him a lot, and they wanted him at the trade deadline. 96 miles an hour, good movement.
I think it's very hard when you look at the shift that's being employed by the Angels against Vogt. 3 to the right side of the infield, just the one on the left side, third baseman. But here's the guy that's all over the plate, and you want him to try to pitch to hit in the shift. Sometimes you wonder how when you have a pitcher who is a little bit erratic with his control.
Wow. 400th career game tonight with the Athletics for Stephen Vogt.
Well, you think about that for a young man who was ready to call it quits. He's at Double-A, and here he is playing at 400 games and caught his 100 at first last night. Started his 101st behind the plate. Two-time All-Star. He was talking to the perennial All-Star and Mike Trout in the outfield while they were running. It's nice for Stephen Vogt, who joins the team as he did in Cincinnati and San Diego, part of the American League All-Star team. You get a chance to meet, see all the other players that you play against, and now your teammates trying to win the game for home field advantage, which the American League did again.
Meyer tried something off speed, misses. 2-2 the count. Ryan Healy to follow here in the first, just underway from the Big A. Heads up in the A's dugout. It did not get into the dugout, but Chris Davis was standing kind of on the edge outside of the dugout, and it almost hit him, and then it went into the dugout and may have hit somebody. And that's not good. Well, that's Kurt Young. Kurt went down. He is standing up now.
Just a small opening for the hitters to come out of that part of the dugout. One at the other end as well. The rail is there to protect guys, especially if they all stand up, and with that having to get right in that area. Very rare for a left-handed hitter to pull the ball directly in the first base dugout.
So let's hope Kurt Young is okay.
Absolutely.
Two pitch to Vogt, and he hits it hard, fair down the right field line. Cole Calhoun will get to it. He's got a very good arm. He gets it back in quickly. Stephen Vogt has a 1-out double.
Much as Stephen Vogt wants to catch, he's kind of looks like he's adapting to the DH role, because he is getting a chance as Maxwell is catching. Stephen Vogt to DH, keeping his bat in the lineup, and this is one of the reasons why. Fouls off a couple of good fastballs, then pulls one down in the corner. Calhoun gets to it before it hit the side rail. 30th double in his 400th game. It's not bad.
Oh, that is good. Yearly milestone to get to 30 doubles. And here's Ryan Healy. Healy continues to swing a hot bat. He's 4 for 8 in this series. He has 7 hits in his last 12 at bats, and his batting average up to .309. Healy takes just a touch low. 1-1 the count. Just a slightly open stance for Ryan Healy, but he closes it up on the pitch. And that one's hit to right center, and that's hit a ton. Robinson back, and that one is off the top of the wall. Here comes Vogt digging around third. He's going to score. Ryan Healy with the double, and the A's lead 1-0. He missed a home run by about a foot.
What a great opposite field hit for him, and of course scouts raving about him already, and that kind of power. They know he can pull the ball, but to take a breaking ball and hit it that hard to right center field. It looked like it had a chance to get out, but it started to sink as it hit the wall, or started to get the wall. Right below the yellow line, that designates the home run. And that close, a little bit to the left, it goes into the trees. But Ryan Healy continuing to swing the hot bat.
So RBI number 35 for Healy. Chris Davis takes a breaking pitch inside. Let's see how close it was. Wow, it's very close.
Check the yellow line just below it, and maybe another 6-8 inches. It's into the seats. Well, there he says it all right there.
1-0 to Davis, hitting .246. 40 homers, 99 RBIs. Looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 6 with a couple of walks. Runs inside, a lot of movement on his fastball, but it's almost strikes you right where he's not quite sure where it's going.
Exactly.
Almost too much movement.
Well, catchers have a tendency to set up in the middle of the plate and allow the movement to go wherever it's going to go. But it is a tough thing to do. As you see, the fastball, curveball, changeup selection does throw a 2- and a 4-seam fastball.
And that one sliced down the right field line, and it is just foul. So 2-2 the count to Davis, trying to get a base hit, pick up RBI number 100.
Well, you think as a starting pitcher, this is great. Got some offense in the first inning. But you have to pitch 5 to qualify for a win, and Sonny Gray's not going to go that deep. There's no way he can talk anybody into allowing him to pitch beyond the 1 inning as Ross Detweiler. If he hasn't already started, he's going to be starting pretty soon. Wind up, he's got to time himself a little bit.
Blocked by Jet Bandy. So about to throw pitch number 20 is Alex Meyer, still only 1 out. That one is right on the outside corner, strike 3 call, and Chris Davis knew it. So that was a good pitch. Best pitch he's thrown so far in this game.
Well, you're thinking 3-2, going to get a fastball to hit, but man, did he nail it perfectly. Outside corner, Chris Davis knew it and had no chance, couldn't pull the trigger, and could not have placed it there more perfectly.
So 2 outs. Here's Yonder Alonso. Alonso has had a quiet series. He's 0 for 8. There's a shot, base hit right field. Here comes Calhoun, and he kicks it in front of him. And now Healy will score without a throw. And I say that because I think if he fields it clean, it's going to be a close play at the plate if he makes a decent throw. He's got a terrific arm, but he did not pick it up cleanly. So Alonso with the RBI hit, and the A's lead 2-0.
And you know what, Kipe? He was going to be sent. Ryan Healy was going to be sent as Ron Washington with 2 outs, nose. And the ball hit so hard, and that's sometimes where you have a very good arm. You're a Gold Glove outfielder. You do some things that maybe try to rush, and it takes the bad hop, and all of a sudden, you got no chance to even catch the ball. He did keep it in front of him, holding Alonso just a single, but Ryan Healy drives in the first, scores the second.
And that'll bring up Danny Valencia. So Alonso gets RBI number 54.
Cole Calhoun right there. Just came up, handled the glove, ate him up a little bit, trying to catch on the run and keep the momentum going towards the plate. He might have been able to just stop, catch, and then throw, and still had a chance because of his strong arm.
High in the air toward right center. And it will be Calhoun who grabs it, side retired. Good first inning for the A's against Alex Meyer. They score twice on 3 hits. 2-0 Athletics. Double A's lead 2-0. And the lineup tonight for the Angels has Cole Calhoun leading off, Trout hitting second, and then Cron, Marte, Simmons, Bandy, Petit, Coward, and Robinson.
And Sonny Gray, who has not pitched since early August, will be taking the mound for what is expected to be 1 inning. Probably start seeing Ross Detweiler warm up in the bullpen, but for Sonny Gray, forearm injury activated from the disabled list today, and on the roster and trying to make this quick appearance and just take the mound, warming up in the bullpen, going through his normal routine, and then take the mound. Of course, pitch count is irrelevant. It's just a matter of getting him out on the mound. As Bob Melvin said, 1 inning, and Ross Detweiler will take over after that.
So here's Calhoun. Calhoun's had a great series, 5 for 6. 3 doubles, a triple. He's scored a couple of runs.
I think Sonny would say, hey, Skip, I had a good inning. Can I go back out?
Yeah.
But there were some concerns with everything going on about Detweiler especially, and I think that's the biggest concern, because somebody is taking over after Sonny, and if it's another starter, then even though he has pitched a little bit out of the bullpen, he still needs to prepare as if he's starting.
And 1 pitch is low, 2-1, so we'll see just at what point Detweiler starts to throw.
God, I've never seen, I can't remember ever going to the clubhouse. You usually see the starting pitcher. There were 2 there tonight. Both Detweiler and Sonny Gray there. As Bob Melvin would like to see an inning for Sonny Gray and be able to walk off and be happy with his performance and be healthy tomorrow. I don't think he would have been taking the mound tonight had he not come out of his session throwing against batters at the Coliseum. Has there been any reluctance as far as maybe something happening?
Well, there was a lot of people watching him when he was throwing at the Coliseum, so he's good to go for tonight. There's a shot toward left field, and that's a base hit. So Cole Calhoun continues his terrific series. Defensively, the A's have Davis in left, Smolinski in center, Valencia is in right, Healy, Simeon, Wendell, Alonso around the infield third to first, with Bruce Maxwell doing the catching. So here's Trout with the leadoff man aboard for the Angels here in the bottom of the first. Trout's 3 for 5 in this series, including a home run. takes that one for a strike. Probably wished he would have swung at it.
I'm going to say this is one hitter that you don't want to just think about one pitch being the fastball, because Sonny Gray has given up a few home runs to him, and he's also struck him out with a good hard cutter slider to the outside part of the plate.
Good pitch there. A little movement in on Trout. So 0-2 the count. C.J. Cron waiting in the on-deck circle. 29 homers, 99 RBIs for Trout.
And for Bruce Maxwell, his first game catching Sonny Gray. Fegley and Vogt caught him and had caught him at the beginning of the season.
Trout checks his swing, and it was a foul ball. Was it a foul ball?
Yes.
Home plate umpire raised his hands.
Yeah, that's a little slider that he just threw him in. Trout started, held up. Sonny feels that if he pitches to the outside part of the plate with that pitch, there's a good chance to get Trout out. Otherwise, if it's a fastball down and any place in, he's got a chance to crush it.
One and 2 now to Mike Trout. Trout hit home run number 29 on Monday. Trying to get to the 30 home run mark for the 4th time in his 5 years. And that one's hit pretty well to right field. Valencia's back. Valencia into the corner, and Valencia makes the catch. So Trout tried to go the other way. Came up just a little bit short. 1 out. Here's our Geico quote of the game. Sonny Gray, watching the young pitchers perform well. He's been out. Quote, it's been fun, but obviously it would have been much better, and I feel like I would have been a little more involved if I'd actually been out there competing alongside of them. There's only so much you can do when you're on the disabled list.
How about Josh Hood, owner of a lonely heart?
Yeah.
Hoodie. He's the best.
He is good. Josh Hood, our graphics operator.
I'll be honest, with the power of Mike Trout, I thought when he hit that ball, he had a chance to go out down the right field line.
Down the lines in this ballpark, it's pretty short.
Yep.
And the wall is very short. The wall is about 4 or 5 feet high at the most. First pitch strike to C.J. Cron. Cron at 281, 16 home runs, 69 RBIs. Two for 5 in the series. Cron's had a pretty nice year. You just heard the numbers. He also missed 35 games, so that's quite a bit of time missed.
Well, with Albert Pujols expected to DH because of his foot problems, and he may be DH sooner than later. And if that's the case, they need C.J. Cron to play well at first base, which he's very capable.
This is his 113th game, so that's pretty good RBI total for that amount of games. So Ross Detweiler just now starting to throw lightly.
By the way, I think I heard Ryan or Marcus Semien look over to Black and say, hey, he called for time and he was granted.
I can see why he did that. Cron reaches for that one toward Valencia, who grabs it.
I asked Marcus about it last night, and about when he asked for time and was not granted. And he said, umpire said, you can't do it. Oh, really? Then how long can he stand there and hold the ball before he eventually pitches? And there are some pitchers who have a sign given to them where it's a hold. It basically comes to a set position and you don't move. But last night, Velasco was taking a little bit too long, and Marcus asked for time, was not granted.
But I'm not sure the hitter, and I understand what you're saying, but the hitter really doesn't have an argument here.
No.
Right? I mean,
no, I know
what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But how many times?
The umpire doesn't call it, then he doesn't call it. He does not have to.
He doesn't have to. But just like right now, I mean, with Cron, he asked for time as Sonny was in a set position and he was granted. So all umpires are different, just like everything and everybody else. But Velasco picked up the win last night. He's pitched very well lately. But everything for a hitter is about timing, and you get set and you wait and wait and wait. The longer you wait, the more you squeeze the bat, and you don't want that.
Tap slowly up the third base line and foul. So 1-1 to Jeffrey Marte. We talked about him in the open of our show. Tough on the innings. Getting in the cleanup spot tonight. Albert Pujols out. And as Ray mentioned last night, he may not play the rest of this year. The foot bothered him a little bit.
I was asked about that, and I was told he's got a bone spur, and he's going to get it checked, and we'll know the results tomorrow, which so few games left, he may shut it down.
Good pitch there by Sonny Gray at the knees, 1-2.
And for Albert Pujols, the season he has had, he can sit there for another 3 or 4 days. It's actually off day tomorrow for them, and the weekend against the Astros, and get well in the off season. Get ready for 17.
1-2 pitch, very close. Yeah.
Well, this helped the Angels last night and helped Marte solidify his spot in the lineup. Straightaway center field with a grand slam. Fastball from Daniel Mingden, and tough night for him as he gave up 8 earnings.
And Marte tries to hold up, can't do it. So Sonny Gray gets his inning of work in. He finishes it with a strikeout. So I would imagine he feels pretty good about that. A's leading 2-0. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by AAA. Get a free A's Stadium blanket with any new AAA membership. Visit a participating AAA branch today. Restrictions apply. The Big A in Anaheim. A's with a 2-0 lead over the Angels. A couple of doubles and a single for the A's in that first inning. Here's Marcus Semien, top of the second. First pitch, called the ball. Marcus at 232, 26 home runs. Good breaking ball that time. Semien does not have a hit in this series. And now it's 1-2.
You think about the season for Marcus Semien and how well and how much he has improved at shortstop. Of course, pretty nice to have a middle of the diamond defender with 26 home runs, driven in 70 so far. He may be hoping for Felix Hernandez to pitch Sunday since he's hit some home runs off of him. I wouldn't say you ever own Felix Hernandez, but Marcus Had 2 in 1 game against him last year. But just trying to finish out the season strongly and continue to put up some good numbers.
2-2 pitch, swinging and a miss. He struck him out. Second strikeout for Meyer.
So had a hanging slider. Marcus started, and then somebody said it's going to be a strike. I better swing. Kind of a delayed swing with no contact.
So with 1 out, Bruce Maxwell steps in. So Detweiler getting ready. Maxwell at 286. He's got a homer and 13 RBIs. Well, I think the Mariners are hoping that Felix Hernandez is pitching.
That's right.
On Sunday, because if he is, that means they're still in it.
Sean Manaea and Felix Hernandez, the scheduled pitchers in the final game. That'd be something to kind of duplicate 2014 with the Mariners on the final day of the season. Only this time, they would be playing the same time as a team they may be trying to catch, or trying to catch them with every team starting, every game starting at the same time.
Mariners won today in Houston. Orioles had a dramatic win tonight, so we'll run through those scores as the night goes on.
I can't wait. I always wait for you to do that because you're so good at it.
I appreciate that. Well, the Mariners, what we're telling you is the Mariners are still 2 games behind the second wild card team, so we know Thursday and Friday are going to mean something. That's for sure. There's a drive to center. Robinson back. Robinson cannot get it. Tumbles at the base of the wall. And Maxwell will round second, and he's going to try for third. And Maxwell is going to have a triple. So well struck ball. Robinson was close to catching it, but then he tumbled at the base of the wall, and I think that allowed Maxwell to get a triple instead of a double.
Well, this is they're going to check on Robinson in center field, but for Maxwell, this is just a lower body swing or upper body with no legs really. And I think for Robinson, banging into the wall as he hit the warning track very hard going after the ball, and then maybe hit his head against the wall. Definitely hope he's all right, because he banged against it pretty hard. And it almost looked like as he went after the ball, checking his right wrist, left elbow. But it's like Maxwell approached second base, didn't know where the ball was, because he kind of hesitated, then saw the ball eventually and realized he had a chance for a rare triple. Robinson back, had his eye on it, diving effort there, and then the left elbow you could see bang against the warning track. There he grabbed it.
Well, they're taking look at him. May have got a little cut.
He's played a lot of left field. Of course, Trout pretty much in the lineup in center field every day. Well, in September, it's not like you have to worry about taking the DH out, putting him in center field. So they put somebody personnel.
Bruce Maxwell's first career triple.
Yeah. It's good to get to third with just 1 out. So let's get a chance to get him in. But let's hope it's just a scrape that they're taking care of, putting a bandage on.
It's like a pretty good scrape to that left elbow.
Warning track. You hit the warning track hard. That's the result. Now the right wrist.
So he's going to be all right. No bandage needed. Just clean him up a little bit.
Yep.
So there's the wild card. And again, the Orioles beat the Blue Jays today. We'll tell you how that happened. Detroit is playing. In fact, they're in a rain delay. The Mariners beat the Astros. So the only team still playing, Detroit, tonight.
So I'd have to think, Kipe, that Baltimore, and I don't know the schedule, you have that probably in front of you, but
What's that, Ray?
Regarding the Orioles are going to be on the East Coast. So before the Mariners start tomorrow, if they're playing, are they playing tomorrow or are they off?
Well, the Orioles will play one more game in Toronto.
Okay, so they've got.
And then they go to New York.
So they've got 4 straight same time. So they'll be on the East Coast.
Yeah.
While the Mariners are playing West. So really,
yes,
the
exactly.
first 2 games, they're going to know the result of those games before really taking the field at 7 o'clock local time in Seattle.
Well, the Mariners will probably have a nice crowd tomorrow night as their team is in it going into the final weekend. He's trying to pick up another run with Smolinski. Infield comes in, Maxwell at third. That's a good breaking ball. So you see Meyer and you see some real good pitches, but you just don't see the consistency.
Yeah.
So 1-1 to Smolinski. Smolinski, this is his first time in the lineup in this series. Right on the outside corner, 1-2, 95 miles an hour.
They faced Meyer a couple of times in Oakland, grounded out and lined out to left field. Right now, he'd take the line out to left field, trying to get the runner in from third.
One-two pitch. Got him swinging. Stayed with a fastball at 97 miles an hour. Maybe just a little elevated. That's a big strikeout for Alex Meyer.
Now he did not bother to go back to the slider, which he swung and missed, and stayed with the fastball, low strike, and then the elevated fastball.
So that'll be frustrating at bat for Smolinski. Here's Joey Wendell. So Wendell will try to knock home Maxwell. Infield can relax and go back normal spot.
And unfortunately, Cap, I think for some of these players, the A's players, they're talking about the audition and getting a chance to play in September. But I think just in case of Smolinski at bat, he's getting a chance tonight. Gets an opportunity to run at third, 1 out. And maybe you're just feeling, I got to do something to get him in. And it's tough to play the game that way. And the more you can play and the more you can relax, the easier at least. Kind of simplifies trying to get a runner in this case from third, less than 2 outs.
Well, what's the league average? 53%.
Isn't that amazing?
Guess you'd always think it would be a little bit higher.
I just think it's hard for a pitcher to realize, or hitter to realize the pitcher is in trouble. There's a bases loaded, makes it even easier, or should, for a hitter. More pressure on the pitcher because of a walk, at least runner at third, nobody at first and second. Take the chance of pitching him carefully, not worry about trying to strike him out, which he did with good fastballs.
Fastball outside. So now 3-1 with Stephen Vogt waiting in the on-deck circle. Lots of pitches, 40 pitches already for Alex Meyer. He threw 68 pitches in 3 1/3 innings in Oakland. Right on the corner, 3-2.
You think about the consistency. If he could do that, like he did to Smolinski, Chris Davis striking him out, and then painted on the 3-1 fastball, there's what guys are hoping for. The Angels are. Get that consistent delivery and that strike zone. At 6'9", it's like he's reaching out, just throwing the ball past you.
Line drive right into the glove of Howard. Side retired. So the A's cannot get Maxwell home. Bottom of the second coming up. Detweiler coming in. 2-0 A's.
Right choice, Sonny Gray. A great performance on his return as Mike Trout flew out deep to right field for a big out, and then a little serve to right field again for the second out. And how about this one? Painted with a good slide on a check swing by Marte. And so Sonny Gray, his first appearance since early August, 1 inning, he's done, but he can go home back to Tennessee and say, I pitched 1 inning and I felt great. Be ready to go next spring.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Here is Ross Detweiler, as we told you would happen. Detweiler made 7 starts for the A's this year.
He's got 2-0 lead already.
Yes, he does.
Just came out of the bullpen.
The ultimate vulture right now. Could be.
That's right.
Not his fault.
No, he hopes so.
Vulture is that reliever that comes in when the starting pitcher does not qualify
right.
by getting through 5 innings. Offense will score some runs. Guy comes in before 5 innings, and if the reliever pitches well, then he's going to get the W. That's right. And it happens.
Yeah, there's a guy goes 3 or 4 innings, the bullpen rings, and everybody gets up and starts throwing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it. That could be a pretty good trifecta right there, those 3. Of course, Darrell Cotton is going to pitch. But you're looking at Sonny Gray. Your right and to left is Sweet Home Alabama and Kendall Graveman. Sean and I right behind him. And there's Darrell Cotton just kind of listening in.
Healy cannot handle that hard hit ball. So Jeff Bandy will be aboard. And it's going to be an E5. No need to look at the replay. They can just call that an E5 immediately.
And he just went down and missed it. I mean, it's one of those that goes there. It did come up, took a little bit of a bad hop, but still a play that I think our third baseman's going to make. Ed Munson, the longtime official, score here, making a quick call. He's pretty good at what he does.
So that's the 2nd error in the series for the A's, and they're 95th of the year. Angels have 96. The Minnesota Twins have 125. Those are the 3 teams with the most errors in the American League this year. 125. That's a lot.
Yeah, kind of back on the 5th of September, Detweiler came in. Kind of a strange game in which he came in relief of Alcantara.
Valencia underneath. He's got it.
Alcantara went to 3 innings, major league debut, and as we were talking, Detweiler was supposed to start the next night, and all of a sudden he's warming up the bullpen and said, wait a minute, who's going to pitch tomorrow? And that was a decision made by Bob Melvin and Kurt Young. He said, we cannot deplete the bullpen, need some length. So Detweiler came in the game and ended up giving up 3 runs in the 4th inning, which turned out in a 10-7 game, 3 big runs. So tonight a little bit different story, which he knew he was going to be coming in following 1 inning by Sonny Gray. Unlike in that game, there is Raul Alcantara, who made his debut, and to his right or left is Daniel Mingden, who will relax the rest of this week.
Alcantara will pitch Friday night in Seattle. So he'll get to pitch in a high pressure game up in Seattle. One pitch to Caleb Cowart. He is outside. Cowart is a switch hitter. Escobar. He left.
Yeah.
Left the game. Was it last night?
Last night.
Yeah, last night. The shoulder bothering him just a little bit. So Escobar not in the lineup. Pujols out. Couple of pretty good hitters. Mel Escobar. So 1-2 to Caleb Cowart. Shane Robinson in the on deck circle.
Can't see your signs. Squint a little bit more. That's not good. It's only 1 sign, and if you can't see the difference between 1, 2, and 3, you better get it clarified. Stephen Vogt. What do they call those signs they put on the fingernails?
Yeah, little sticky things. Yeah. They do have the name for them. Can't remember what
yeah.
signage.
Oh, that's Stephen Maxwell's got it. As I said, Stephen Vogt. Maxwell is catching.
Way outside. So 3-2. So that will allow Jet Bandy, the runner at first, to take off. Alonso will behind Bandy. Runner goes. Ball's tapped right side. Wendell charges, scoops it up, flips to first. Side retired. So a runner left, and we are on to the third inning from the Big A. A's 2, Angels nothing.
One live streaming sports service. Watch every out of market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to AtBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
2-0 the A's lead here in Anaheim. Stephen Vogt to lead it off, Healy to follow, and then Davis. Top of the third. Stephen Vogt doubled and scored in the first inning. He's 3 for 9 now in the series. First pitch is a little bit outside to Vogt. I told you last night, these two teams, the A's and the Angels, are the two teams that have struck out the fewest times in the American League this year. It's a good thing.
It's very good, except that also from the A standpoint probably have the fewest walks, which means that if they're not striking out, they're not going deep in the count.
Both these teams, the A's specifically, do not walk a lot, but the strikeout thing was very interesting. I saw a note today, Ray, you'll like this. And it had to do with strikeouts all around Major League Baseball.
Up.
Yeah. So this year, in fact, I think it happened on Monday night, Major League Baseball set a new record for most strikeouts in a season. But they have broken the record 9 consecutive years.
Wow.
So 9 years ago they set the record, and they've broke it every year since then. So there's been a new strikeout record every year.
Wow.
So strikeouts continue to go up, and this year home runs are up.
Yeah.
Remember last year that home runs were down a little bit, and it was like, well, what's going on? But now they're up again. But That's the home run note. Check that out. 107 players with 20 or more home runs this year. That's a new major league record.
Wow.
It's almost twice as many as last year. Players hitting 20 or more home runs. So you have that note to go along with continued rise in strikeouts.
Well, our theory has always been this year of watching hitters swing with 2 strikes. So if they swing hard and strike out, and they swing hard and make contact, there's your home runs.
There's your 2 things that are going to happen.
That's right.
You're
so
right.
You get the strikeouts and/or home runs. And
I don't know if it's good or bad, but
one thing we have seen, guys swing very hard 2 strikes.
No
It's not they cut down a swing and just try to make contact. And when you get a hard swing, how about Springer with Houston just comes to mind. He swings hard. Escobar, I mean, these guys swing hard all the time. The Blue Jays pretty much up and down the lineup.
Yeah, the home run thing, I mean, that's fine. I mean, guys are going to hit home runs. I'm not sure the strikeout thing's a good thing.
No, absolutely not.
I think.
No, and I don't buy into where people say, well, it's only one out.
It's an out. Yeah, I agree.
No, it's only 1 out instead of a double play.
No,
I'm sorry. You put the ball in play, you got a chance. You swing and miss, you don't have a chance.
That one's belted to right center. Healy with another long drive, and it is off the top of the wall again, and Healy has a double. Ryan Healy, another booming double. He's got 2 tonight. He's got 20 on the year.
That's unbelievable. Think of his potential. And we're looking at just a half a season with 4 games to go. Almost hit one out to right center. Almost hits one out to right field. Good thing, though, he's not trotting to first base thinking he's got 2 home runs and get thrown out at second. And with the strong arm of Calhoun in right field, he better be running hard, and he was out of the box. Of course, the hitter knows more than anybody whether it's going to be out or not, and there's your strong throw by Calhoun, that close.
So he is now has 9 hits in his last 14 at bats. Ryan Healy. And Healy is going to try for third. The throw is not in time. Kind of a slow motion play. Bandy was good to throw behind Healy, but
that's a pass ball.
But he just missed the pitch.
Should be a pass ball because you're right. Yeah, it's a pass ball, but watch as he goes after it. As he started to throw the transfer, he kicked the ball behind him, and Ryan Healy was a little bit delayed going to third, didn't slide, and maybe didn't see where the ball was going back for the possible pickoff, and then said, oh, get there easily. And boy, it's hard to decelerate. When you go into the bag, sliding, you can stop yourself. You stand up, sometimes it carries you right past the bag.
1-0. So here's the spot, Ray. And we just talked about this. Chris Davis is a big swing.
Yeah.
He's going to hit a ton of home runs.
He's
got to put the ball in play.
Here's also the great opportunity, infield in, to get RBI number 100. Passed ball puts Healy at third. Infield in. Feel badly for the guys on the infield if KD hits one hard like he usually does on the infield.
1-1 pitch. High and foul down the right field line.
Healy's trying for Myers trying for the same thing that he got with Smolinski, running third, 1 out. That's a strikeout.
Hit leaders for American League rookies. Ryan Healy on top.
That kid Gary Sanchez, 20 home runs. Yep. I saw him throw to second on a caught stealing. Pud Rodriguez.
Good arm.
Oh, wow. Pitcher better get out of the way.
Missed outside. Well, that's the Yankees, give them credit. They starting to play their younger players and been pretty impressive.
Right. Just think what their payroll is going to be next year, because they are playing some of the young guys.
2-2. Here's the pitch. Got him swinging. Well, Chris Davis does not get the run home, and that's the second out.
Well, it's another fastball, and you know, maybe Chris Davis is just thinking a little bit too much about. I mean, this was the optimum opportunity to get number 100 and settle him down for the rest of the week. They could not make contact, and had he made contact, it's a big run. But for the A's, they missed 2 opportunities. Runner at third with a triple last inning by Maxwell, and Keeley at third in this inning. Now the infield can't move back like they did last inning.
Well, Alonso came through in the first. He'll try to do it here in the third. He had a 2-out RBI hit. Take 2-0.
Could be a pitch around.
On deck, Danny Valencia, maybe more comfortable facing a right-handed hitter. Who knows? Alonso takes a little bit inside, so now it's 3-0.
This is a case where if you're pitching him carefully, you don't mind walking him, you better not give him a good pitch to hit 3-0 because he may be swinging. And by all counts, he may be given the green light to let it go.
Yeah, that one is a strike. It looked like he was swinging, though.
Yeah. Well, if he was and he held up, then he's smart because it wasn't the pitch he was looking for. Might have been the fastball that he's looking for, but not the location.
So now 3-1, still a good count for Yonder Alonso. Missed outside, so Alonso takes the walk, and it will be up to Danny Valencia. That's the first walk by Alex Meyer. So Valencia, who hit a fly ball to right field to end the first inning, will step up. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. So 60 pitches for Alex Meyer. And that one's a strike. Valencia with 51 RBIs on the year. Missed again. So Meyer has only walked 1. He has struck out 4. But I would not say the control is real sharp. Not all over the place, but that one is a good pitch. 96 miles an hour right on the outside corner.
Well, with the 2-seam movement, starting outside, bringing it back as he does on this one, that's a good pitch. Especially when you throw in mid-90s with the fastball, with that kind of movement.
So Valencia going to have to battle here behind in the count 1-2. Hard slider.
Just look at the notes, 5th start for this young man, and 12 batters in 17 2/3 innings, so it's with the Angels. So 4 is the most he's walked in one game. That was against the Athletics in his Angels debut.
And that's a good pitch. Slider, and Valencia swings and misses. And the A's miss another opportunity. Healy doubles. He ends up being stranded at third. So 2-0 A's as we go to the bottom of the third.
Center Health joined forces to launch the inaugural Fitness Sluggers program designed to educate and encourage youth to live healthy and active lifestyles. Participants competed in monthly fitness challenges with select winners earning A's game tickets and other great rewards. You can take the Fitness Sluggers pledge and download Fitness Sluggers posters by visiting athletics.com/fitness.
2-0 the A's lead. It is the bottom of the third. Robinson leading it off, and then Calhoun and MVP candidate Mike Trout.
Oh, you like that?
That's a tease, Ray. That means we're going to talk about the MVP candidates. Healy caught it in a line drive, I believe. Yes, he did. They called him out. He caught it in the air. Third base umpire Ryan Blackney put up the fist and said, that's a catch. So Shane Robinson lines out for the first out. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. These are the candidates for the American League Most Valuable Player. At least we think they are, but not everybody may agree. People may think other people should be in there. And we've thrown up the names. We do it about once a week, but now we're getting close to the end. And Altuve, Betts, Trout, Ortiz, Machado. Again, we always like to say, Ray, those are the, the home runs, RBIs, batting average. There's a lot of other numbers now that go into the decision process.
I got my mind set on you.
You got somebody?
That's what Josh Hood put up there. Got my mind set on you.
So, you know what? We're going
to,
on Friday night in Seattle, we're going to have our A's insider Joe Stiglich on. And we're going to talk about who he thinks should be the MVP.
Cap, what I think it's going to come down to, you look at that list again, and maybe we could show it up on our screen with Altuve, and you have Betts, and then you have Trout, Poppy, and Trumbo. Let's say that they're only the Red Sox of that group go to postseason.
Yeah.
Do you really put somebody in that MVP category, especially when you have Betts and Ortiz, who, they clinched tonight when
they did clinch. They lost, but they clinched because Toronto lost.
Baltimore lost, then they clinched. So they're the Eastern Division champions. So let's say the Astros don't make it. We know the Angels aren't, and the Orioles we don't know. But, there's been, over the course probably the MVP balloting, has there been, unless it's just been somebody who's so overly, Joe Morgan did it twice, back-to-back, but they won, I think. Yeah. But Ernie Banks, they never won.
No.
So, I think when it comes down to the voters, maybe if you have guys who are equal, do they look at, okay, he played on a winner?
Sure. And the thing with all those guys, statistically, some are a little better than others in other places, but the reason why it's such a tough call this year is because really statistically they are pretty close.
Exactly.
If I'm leaning, and I'll tell you who I'm leaning toward. I'm leaning toward Betts a little bit because he's just been terrific. And he plays in a great lineup, but
I agree with you because he plays
center field.
He plays center field, and he hits. Now, David Ortiz, there's always going to be that question. The DH hits all the time, and granted, David Ortiz had a tremendous year. But the fact that Mookie Betts goes to the outfield,
said center field. Betts plays actually more right field, but
But But he plays. He's a two-way player.
I think you and I agree on that. Listen, I'm not saying a DH should not win the MVP, but if they were to win the MVP, their numbers would have to be far and above a player who plays every day. Ortiz's numbers are great, but they're not far and above these other gentlemen that are on that list.
And it's not like David Ortiz, while he's had a tremendous season, he hasn't solely carried the Boston Red Sox.
No.
Mookie Betts alone, you could compare him in the way he has helped carry that club.
I would probably, again, I got 3 days to change my mind. I would probably go Betts 1 and Trout 2.
Yeah.
And I know that Mike Trout, his team's not very good, but I don't care. He is. He's just so good, and
it's a good point. I agree with you because let's say Betts, but then does it matter? And that way, it doesn't matter who you.
Maybe it doesn't to the voters.
Right.
Maybe not.
Yeah. But if you have, say, Betts who plays both ways, he plays on a winner, takes him to postseason. Got the lights.
So Trout lines out, side retired. Is he the MVP? Maybe, maybe not. 2-0 A's. champion Sharks will be back on the ice soon. Sharks hockey returns October 15th to CSN California. The home of the authentic Sharks fan is CSN California. So, get ready for the Sharkies. Warriors not far behind. NFL in full swing. Pennant races going on. College football.
Life is good. And in Texas, they got high school football.
Exactly.
They care a lot about, so much more about that.
So top of the fourth inning. He's got 2 in the first, and that's the score, 2-0.
Okay, last night we had a conversation where we were talking about the hockey. The Coyotes were in town playing an exhibition game, and you know, their brawls and fights and things like that. I did talk to Steve Scarsone, manager of the AAA team in Nashville, and he confirmed that they are not allowed to leave, do anything. He said if something happens, and he said even for the on-deck hitter, the guy who may be standing out in the hole, he said they can't leave the dirt.
Wow.
And they get fined.
So if they were to leave and go out there, they get fined.
It's a fine. It's a fine. Now Steve said they had a big one in Albuquerque, I want to say last year, and he said something happened when one of the players hit a home run and some past issues. As he rounded third, he looked at the dugout and he said, "You want me? Come and get me." And he said they all started, and the manager stood up and said, "Stop." And Scarsone did the same thing, and the umpire fined Nashville 22 players at $150 each.
Wow.
And Scarsone said, "Wait a minute. We didn't have that many guys on the bench, so how could they fine us that much?" But the umpires just in general start looking at how many players are left. So Steve said he went back, looked at the video, and said he got it down to 12.
12. Huh.
Because there were guys who had already been in the game up in the clubhouse, but he said it's definitely a fine. And of course, in minor leagues, they don't make that much money, and any little bit. And matter of fact, Steve said in that particular instance, got it down to 12, and everybody chipped in to help pay the fine of those 12.
So Simeon is retired, and that'll bring up Bruce Maxwell.
But the one thing, as I mentioned last night, when you're dealing with Major League Baseball has its own Players Association. There's a lot of things that go on up here that aren't even thought about in the minor leagues because they're not under any guidelines with regard to a union or Players Association. So they can penalize them more. They can make more rules down there. But once they get here, they're different. And what they're hoping is that the rules they establish at the minor league level is those players get the big leagues, the hurry up, stand and stay in the batter's box, and you know, all those things. But then you get here, you're in the big leagues, and you want to stay here, so you may take a little bit more time than you would at the minor league level.
So basically, the collective bargaining agreement is for the major leagues. It doesn't have anything to do with the minor league.
Yeah, I want to say 40-man roster, and maybe that once you get down to 25 in the regular season and those 15 who are on the 40 go to the minor leagues, that's probably the question. But if they're minor league level, even on the 40, you know, it's something that someone in front office would be able to answer. But there are a lot of things happening differently at the minor league level than here.
Maxwell, good swing, fouls it into the upper deck.
You made a good point last night that if they had the no leave rule here, there'd be a lot fewer guys charging them out.
Yep.
And
wouldn't happen.
No, because they just.
I mean, it doesn't mean that, you know, ball players aren't tough or that's got nothing to do with it. I just don't think it would happen.
Right.
If you know somebody's going to hold you back, well, then generally you'll be a little bit more brave.
I look what you said about two guys got injured on a brawl, just running in.
Just running in, yeah. So Maxwell is retired. A's Insider Podcast is live on CSNCalifornia.com. Log on each week as our A's Insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. This week's guest is that young man, Joey Wendell. A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz on CSNCalifornia.com, sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. You can also check it out on iTunes.
Had a nice interview with Joe Stiglitz on my broadcaster Sunday on the radio side last Sunday, and same one that you were on and talking about your broadcasting, and Joe on last Sunday at the A's Insider on Comcast Sports Net California. So he not only on TV, but he also writes.
Yes, he does.
Very talented, Joe Stiglitz. Yes, he is.
So 2 outs here, and Alex Meyer is looking for his first 3-up, 3-down inning. Hit hard, scooped by Crone, and he's going to get it. So Meyer, an easy inning. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Crone, Marte, and Simmons. 2-0 A's lead. On TSN California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. Go out for a train ride through the Redwoods on Thomas. Come back with mercy. Some say it's a trick. We say it's a treat. For the Halloween party. Ross Detweiler. First pitch to Crone is skied. Smolinski grabs it. So 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring up Jeffrey Marte. So the Mariners got a big win today in Houston. That was a day game.
Really? On a getaway day.
Yeah, 12-4. Seattle wins the game. Cano with the home run. Seager with the home run. Robinson Cano, who had a big series down there in Houston, now has 36 home runs. And Seager's home run today was his 30th. So all 3 of their big 3, including Nelson Cruz, have at least 30 home runs.
Well, you know, Robinson Cano's name wasn't even mentioned in those 5.
No, and you know what? That's the thing. I mean, somebody else may think he should be on that list, and maybe he should be. We only have room for 5. That's basically what we're telling you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it's only 5. Gotcha. Okay. Could go 2 levels.
Well, no, then it's just.
We don't want to complicate all the voters. See, we don't even get to vote.
So the Mariners take 2 out of 3 in Houston. Mariners have won 5 out of their last 7. And as we said, they remain 2 back of the Orioles. Robinson Cano hit 9 home runs and drove in 25 runs against the Astros this year.
Wow. Yeah. It's like Chris Davis against the Rangers.
9 and 25.
It's amazing.
That is. So the Astros are 3.5 games behind the Orioles. Let me see here. If they're 3.5 back, they're off Thursday. We're talking about the Astros, and they're here for 3 games. I think they're done.
Right.
3.5 back there,
yeah.
Obviously. So the Astros.
3 to go.
I think that may be it for them. Line drive, left center field. Davis is not going to get it. And 1 hops the wall. And Marte has a double.
I think we're looking at the new left fielder every day for the Angels. And well, this has been a disappointing season for a team that expects to win every year. They may be looking at getting an opportunity to see somebody that they can pencil in. And you figure Marte, Trout, and Calhoun from left to right. That's a pretty good outfield. And then when they completely pay off Josh Hamilton, they'll really be happy. Yep.
So here's Andrelton Simmons, 1 out. Simmons takes low.
Well, it's too bad that Ross Detweiler right now has to pitch instead of possibly having a 4-0 lead. He's one swing away from having the Angels tie the game. And that's the difference of having a runner at third in less than 2 outs twice, back-to-back innings, and leaving him stranded. 2 in the first inning, but they've had many opportunities in this game already. And from a pitcher standpoint, I know that we talk about closers when they come in a game and they have more than a 1-run lead. Makes them relax a little bit more than worried about one batter, one pitch. But you get a chance to add on with gift runs and you don't do it, sometimes it comes back to haunt you.
2-0 to Simmons. And Simmons has a base hit to right field. Here comes Marte. They're waving him home. Valencia's throw to the plate, a little bit up the line, and the Angels are on the board. So Andrelton Simmons with a hard hit ball through the right side.
A ground ball really enables the runner at second base to go on contact. And of course, Simmons is this type of hitter. You're playing him a little bit towards second, but we have seen him against the A's go to the opposite field very regularly. And Marte not only can hit, he can run.
So Simmons gets RBI number 41, and that'll bring up Bandy. Well, and talking about those missed opportunities, I think the thing that makes it frustrating is in both instances for the A's in the second and the third inning, as the lefty Jose Alvarez starts to throw, the hitter who came up with 1 out and the runner at third struck out.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the frustrating part.
And both times with the infield playing in.
Yep. 2-0 the count to Jet Bandy. Reached on an error in the second inning. Tried to unload on one. Rolled foul, headed for the dugout. Quite a ball game tonight in Toronto. I showed you with those wild card standings. The Blue Jays are the #1 wild card team. Orioles are second. But tonight the Blue Jays were rolling along. They had a 2-0 lead going to the 8th inning. And the Orioles got a run in the top of the 8th to make it 2-1. Then in the top of the 9th inning, Hyun-Soo Kim hit a 2-run homer off Osuna. Wow. And the Orioles took the lead 3-2 and they won.
Wow. Osuna.
So Toronto was thinking we're 6 outs away from having what would have been a 3-game lead over the second wild card team. But Kim homered and a huge, and I mean huge, win for the Orioles. Hit well, right center field. Smolinski, Valencia, and the ball drops. Simmons had to wait to see what was going to happen. He's going to go to third, and Bandy is at second with a double. Looked like Smolinski got a glove on it.
Well, for a right-handed hitter, it's got to be slicing into the center field gap, right center field gap. Smolinski taking charge, going after it, and like he was in front. He said, I got it, and Valencia, I guess, was the one saying, I got it. And then Bandy had to make sure as Simmons was going back thinking it was going to be caught. And so he did not want to run into a double play. So all he could do is get to third.
So that'll bring up Gregorio Petit again. Only one out. The A's will play the corner infielders in, middle infield back. So we'll see if Petit can put it in play and get it the Angels the tying run. Alonso hustling over, Wendell hustling over, and it's into the seats. One more note right from that Blue Jays game. Osuna, that save was, the blown save was his 5th of the year, which is not bad for a guy who's closing. But Zach Britton came in and got the save. He's 47 for 47.
Yeah.
Is he the Cy Young in the American League?
That's a good
He's
point.
going to get some votes.
Yeah. And is he the MVP?
Serious.
Because Eck did it. Verlander did it. You look at Zach Britton, 47 saves, and if they have 84 wins, that's half the wins that he has saved, especially to be perfect. But he throws like he should be perfect.
1-2 now to Gregorio Petit.
You have somebody that's perfect like that, and you're playing against them, and you always take the lead, and you figure we're done. You got no chance to come back. And you could say the odds are against him that he's eventually going to blow a save, but I don't know about that. He's that good.
And that is off the glove of Healy. He picks it up. Got nowhere to go. Run comes in to score, and this game is tied at 2. It'll be a hit for Petit.
Ryan Healy knocked the ball down, maybe saved extra bases. And then immediately put the glove on the bag, thinking that Mandy was going to be coming to third base. He did not. But Petit getting the breaking ball, hooked it. Healy got a glove on it, came up, and nobody's there.
So 4 straight hits.
Yeah, and contact, as soon as contact was made, Simmons was on the move. Angels probably the top club, at least in the American League. And if there's a run at third, less than 2 outs, he will be going on contact. Shock when he doesn't.
Here's Caleb Cowart. Simeon scoops it, goes to second to get the out there. So runners at the corners, 2 outs. Fielder's choice for Cowart. And that'll bring up Shane Robinson. And the Angels, the fewest strikeouts in the American League. They're 10th in the league in runs scored. So they've been okay offensively this year. In 2014 when they won the division, they led the major leagues in run scored, but then they took a downward turn last year. Just slightly better this year than they were last year, just as far as total runs scored, which I guess when it's all said and done, that's probably the most important number, right? I mean, runs per game, but at the end of the year, everybody's going to play the same amount of games. 0-1 to Shane Robinson, who lined out to third in the third. And that one down the left field line, and that's trouble. 1 run scores. Cowart is going to be waved home. Throw to the plate is not quite in time, and now they're going to have Robinson caught, but he's going to get to third, and he is safe. So Bandy and Cowart score, and when the baseball stops, Robinson is at third.
Well, it's a double, and you know that with Ron Renicky, again, 2 outs, he's going to be pushing the envelope and trying to score 2. Ball comes back in. The thing that Bruce Maxwell did, once the second run scored, he came out in front, hold the ball, make the runner make a decision. He made the decision for, and Robinson, tremendous speed. As soon as the ball went to second, he's going to be safe. So right there, just run at him. See, he's halfway, and there's no way you can throw the ball to second, back to third, and get a speedy Robinson. He almost slid off the bag, did not. Came through with a big 2-out hit. So instead of being 4-0, now the A's are trailing 4-2.
So if he runs right at him, the runner probably just stands
there and forces him to run all the way to second. You just keep running until the runner makes his decision, not you, the catcher.
And that one's hit high and deep to right field. Valencia turns around, gone. 6-2 Angels.
Well, we've talked about Cole Calhoun, his ability to hit lefties. How about a hanging breaking ball? And it hung right in the middle of the plate. And it was one of those high towering fly balls. And Valencia thought he was going to scrape the wall, but did not.
Oh, what a series for Cole Calhoun. And there's a base hit for Trout. So Trout with the single, his first hit tonight. Chris Smith is warming up quickly. So a 6-run inning. And you see Bob Melvin telling Maxwell, go talk to him, and let's just give Chris Smith a little extra time.
But it doesn't.
This has happened quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to get loose. And yeah, you're right. It did happen quickly because there are 2 outs, and all of a sudden, Cowart, the fielder's choice. Robinson with a double, Calhoun with a 2-run home run, Trout with a base hit.
So if you're joining us late, and I think it was the first inning, foul ball into the A's dugout, and Kurt Young, the pitching coach, was hit, and he got up, but they also then. Trainers walked him back down, and I do not see Kurt in the dugout. I just got Emerson to Bob Melvin's left, and Scott is usually out in the bullpen, so he has come in to be the pitching coach, and Steve Scarsoni is now out in the bullpen. Now we don't want to alarm anybody. We have not heard anything about Kurt Young, but we certainly hope he's okay.
Absolutely. Scarsoni saying Steve Smith is ready, so Steve, the AAA manager, able to go out of the bullpen. Put the cap up, which is the universal sign to me that he's ready. Now, since it was the catcher who went out and not somebody from the bench, Bob Melvin could still take him out. At least he knows that Smith is ready.
And that one is hit hard. Valencia turns around, and that is off the wall. And they're going to hold up Trout at third, and now the throw goes into second, and Renicky held him up, and then he was waving him when he saw the throws going to second, but Trout had already stopped. So Bob Melvin has seen enough, as there has been line drives drilled all over the ballpark here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So that will do it for Ross Detweiler. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Are on sale right now. Whether you want to renew your membership or join the party, visit athletics.com/2017. You'll find all the benefits that A's membership has to offer, including early bird incentives, exclusive experiences, half-price parking, flexible ticket exchange program, and more. You can even lock in your 2017 seating location. Visit athletics.com/2017. Join the party today.
So the Angels leading 6-2. It has been a tough inning for the A's. Ross Detweiler ends up going 2 2/3 innings, gives up 6 runs and 8 hits. All 6 runs, all 8 hits in this inning.
He had an error in the first inning that he pitched and retired 3. Last inning, retired 3 in a row. This inning got the first out. So now Chris Smith comes on to try to stop the damage done by the Angels. And for Detweiler, he's looking at 2 more runs are out on the bases for him. I'm surprised that Trout didn't score the ball to right field with 2 outs.
So the first pitch to Jeffrey Marte is inside. So second and third, 2 outs, 6 runs in. In first strike, Marte has struck out and doubled and scored. Tried to hold up. Good breaking ball by Smith.
He said it's a swing. Looked like a pretty good pitch anyway. Good slider on the corner, but Tom Woodring saying that he did swing.
Marte started this whole inning with a 1-out double, and since then it has just gone downhill for the Athletics. A little bit outside, so full count.
Well, again, with first base open, Simmons the on deck circle. It's not a matter of saying I have to challenge him. It's not like it's the bases loaded, which could play into this 3-2 selection.
Pitch and a pretty good take by Marte. So the bases are loaded for Andrelton Simmons. It's the first walk in the game by A's pitchers.
And the A's are looking for Chris Smith to give him some innings. And gets the opportunity to pitch in California at the Angel Stadium, where he grew up, about 45 minutes from here, or at least lives there.
Just missed outside. Well, he's a happy guy then.
Isn't he?
Simmons RBI single earlier this inning.
Well, if you want the real story in baseball, Chris Smith is the story. And Albert Pujols making a play and flipping the ball in the stands. As future Hall of Famer sitting there casually, gets up and makes a nice stab and don't get hurt.
So 1-1 the count to Simmons. Swing and a miss, 1-2. So now Smith ahead in the count, try to put him away. And the runners trot at third, Cron at second, Marte at first. Nice block by Maxwell. That one bounced way out in front of home plate.
Very good technique by Maxwell, which is important with a runner at third. The slider that spiked in front of the plate, got down and blocked it.
Two pitch and a good take. Change up from Smith, and Simmons did not chase it.
Now a little bit different than when he had Marte at the plate, 3-2. Simmons, same count, with the bases loaded now.
So the runners will start moving on the pitch. And he walked it. So Trout will trot home to score, and that makes it a 7-run inning. Bases will remain loaded.
And that's Ross Detweiler's run. Still another one out there for him.
So that'll bring up Jet Bandy. Bandy doubled and scored earlier this inning. The 13th batter to come to the plate in this inning for the Angels. Bandy was thinking about a grand slam, although he takes a big swing every time.
Yeah, Chris Smith is getting ahead of these hitters. The problem is that once he gets ahead, it goes for the chase pitches, and the Angels are patient and not chasing.
So 0-1 the count to Bandy. Bandy also reached on an error earlier in the game, so he's been on base twice. Foul back. That one kind of spin on the inside corner. So 0-2. So Cron, the runner at third, is still Detweiler's responsibility. Pitch is very close. Called the ball. Smith made a pretty good 0-2 pitch, trying to come back and do the same thing. Right now, the Angels are laying off Smith's off-speed stuff, and we've seen Smith. We've seen guys go after his off-speed stuff, but the Angels have not. So they've thrown out a couple of good at-bats. Bandy bounces it foul, so that time Smith went with a fastball. Sinking action to it.
Alvarez was up for the Angels. I don't know if you figure this lead that Mike Scioscia might go back out for the 5th. Took him out in Oakland in the 4th inning.
Just foul.
Took him out in the 4th, and as Alvarez, he came in and gave up the hit to put the A's ahead and ended up losing. So maybe a pitch count, the 4 innings for Myers enough. So Alvarez is up, and another vulture.
Yeah, that's right. He's thrown a lot of pitches down in the bullpen. So another 2-2 pitch. And that one cute up the first base line. Maxwell juggles, fair ball, everybody's safe. So Maxwell had that tough decision. Do I let it go foul? Now it doesn't look like it's going to go foul. And then when he picked it up, he just did not pick it up clean. So it will be an error. So no RBI.
That was a cue shot, and you're right. It gets on the grass, starts to roll, and is it on a roll? And no, and he picks it up with 2 fingers and completely misses it. That's too bad, because the A's desperately trying to get out of the inning.
And now Petit will hit. First pitch is a strike to Petit. Petit 1 for 2. He had an RBI single in this inning. The 14th man to bat.
And McCarron was up earlier in this inning. He had a fielder's choice. That was the 2nd out. Then an RBI double, 2-run home run, single, double, walk, E2. All that happening with 2 outs.
0-2 pitch. Hit hard but foul.
And Blair reminds you, we've got so long ago forgot, but if Maxwell runs at the runner, Robertson, he gets him out, this is a moot point. Detweiler's probably still in the game. And that also meant that Calhoun would have come up.
How about, Ray? Let's just be simple and say it's an ugly inning.
It's an ugly inning.
Yes, it is. What do they say? UGLY?
Yeah. Like YMCA, UGLY.
So 8 runs in the inning for the Angels. Right back
Run
to
it
Smith.
over there.
Flips to first side, retired. 8 runs for the Angels. So we're on to the 5th inning. It's now 8-2. Angels lead the Athletics. just erased a 2-0 deficit with an 8-run 4th inning. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. Jose Alvarez comes in.
Is that inning over?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We're rolling. So Alvarez comes in for Meyer. Meyer goes 4 innings. And Chad Pinder is going to hit for Joey Wendell.
Oh, that's too bad to have a lead. It really, because of that ugly 8-run inning, is you get some changes defensively for the Angels after the 8-run inning, but maybe because Robinson really got hurt, maybe sliding into third. Do you know what happens, Kai? Because of the 8-run inning, you kind of forget about those 2 innings in which the A's had the opportunity in the 2nd and 3rd inning to play another run, make it a 4-0. And again, who knows how that could have changed. And maybe the 8 runs wouldn't have happened.
2 pitches in for a strike.
It's almost like, well, they're not taking advantage of the opportunities, and we will. And the Angels did.
Seems like when you don't do that early in the game, it comes back to bite you late in the game.
Yeah, and you're right, because they're kind of gift, even though the infield was in.
That one's hit well to right center, but it's going to hang up for Ortega. So 1 out. Pinder, the pinch hitter, he'll stay in the game at second base. So 1 away here in the top of the 5th, and Stephen Vogt will step to the plate.
Totally different game than back in early September when Meyer made his Angels debut and Alvarez came in and gave up the hit that really gave the loss to Meyer. This game that Meyer leads after 4 innings, does not qualify for a win. Alvarez has a chance, if he pitches well, to get the victory.
Facing Vogt, who doubled and scored in the 1st, and then in the 3rd. Vogt hit a fly ball to center field.
Squeeze the bat. It's sans gloves, and Stephen Vogt doesn't wear batting gloves. A lot of pine tar on the bat that he constantly either puts on his hands or on his helmet, as you can see the bill of his cap or his helmet.
1-2 now to Vogt.
Oz again might have been the one that had the ugliest helmet with most pine tar. He actually took a pine tar rag and put it on his helmet instead of on his bat. He just put his hand on his helmet to get the sticking.
Good take by Vogt. Well, probably start doing it in spring training, right?
Yep.
Probably get a new helmet opening day.
Yep. Get a new one and start caking it on. And you get down to game 158. That's what your helmet looks like. Stephen Vogt will be going up to Seattle for the final weekend. And his wife Alyssa, the kids will just go home to Tumwater, Washington, where they make their winter home.
Left center hanging up for Jeffrey Marte, 2 away. So Vogt 1 for 3. And here comes the red hot Ryan Healy. Healy tonight has doubled twice. He has scored, and the double in the 1st inning knocked in a run. So Healy in this series is 6 for 10. And his batting average now up to .315. So those numbers, 12 homers, 35 RBIs, coming in 68 games. So if you were to spread that out over a full season, that is a very, very good year.
And he's a student of the game, which means that as he faces these pitchers and works with Darren Bush and gets the video on his at-bats, gets an idea of how he's being pitched. And I think the best thing about him, what we've seen this year, a lot of times for a rookie, young hitter, just basically looks for the ball and is able to hit it. Darren Bush will give him ideas of what the pitchers throw. But bottom line, all Darren Bush can do is prepare them, let them know. And then at least have the pitch selection, not necessarily the counts in which they're going to throw the pitches.
Bob Melvin had some nice things to say about Healy today. He said he wants to play every day. It's just like Marcus Semien. Bob said, I've approached him a couple times. Hey, how you feel? And he walks away.
Sure.
He doesn't even want to talk to the manager about, do I need a day off, which is exactly what Simeon's doing. He also said, you know what? If any young player gets a chance to play every day by a team, if he's given a chance like Healy has, my advice to them would be to handle it exactly like Healy has. And obviously he's producing, but his point was more than producing. The fact that he says he's been given an everyday big league job and he does not want anybody to take it.
Exactly.
Even for a day.
Sure.
And if you're a young player and you get an opportunity, that's exactly the way you should go about it. And Healy has done that. Not this time, though. He strikes out, and we're going to the bottom of the fifth. A's 2. And the Angels going for 3-game sweep. So Chad Pinder stays in the game at second base. Chris Smith stays out on the mound. So Pinder at second. There's something going on down the right field line. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that is why there is a delay right now. So the police officer was checking something out down there. Now he goes out, shuts the gate, and we're ready for baseball. As Cowart to lead things off. Cowart is 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice and scored in that big 4th inning. So 2-0 the count. To a pitch is hit high and foul, headed for the upper deck, and then it bounces down into our level here, which is the second level. Simeon has it, and Simeon throws out Cowher. So this is what's coming up in Seattle starting tomorrow night. Kendall Graveman and Ariel Miranda, young left-hander. It'll be Thursday night, Friday, Raul Alcantara against Taijuan Walker. Saturday, also a night game, Jarrell Cotton and Asashi Iwakuma. And then on Sunday, Sean Manaea and Felix Hernandez. Coverage starts at 11:30. All the games around Major League Baseball will start at 12 o'clock Pacific time on Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern time. So all games will be going on at the exact same time, which a change that Major League Baseball made a couple years ago.
Last year.
And it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. It's Mike Warren who's getting loose, so Mike Scioscia maybe will do what he did a couple of nights ago after Weaver came out after 5 and just went 4 relievers.
This is Ortega, his first at bat.
And I think from the A's standpoint, to see the young pitchers, each one of those will be making their final start. Last one tonight for our Sonny Gray. Josh Detweiler would be following him, so he's finished. So Ross Detweiler, Sonny Gray tonight. You saw Mington last night, and you'll see the next 4. And there's your 6-man rotation and into the season. Mington looking at the video from last night's game, and I'm sure he would like to have been able to finish a little bit stronger in his final start last night. He will watch the remainder of these games. Maybe when he pitches, he'll leave the mustache down in the future. Well, he's curled it up on the games that he pitches, but after that, he takes the wax and it kind of goes down to the side. So we'll see what he does in the future.
Gave up 8 runs and 9 hits last night. So 3-2 pitches high, and it's a 1-out walk. So 1-out base runner. Here is Cole Calhoun, who has had an awesome series. Calhoun tonight is 2 for 3 with a 2-run homer. In the series, he is 7 for 9 with 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Tonight hitting in the leadoff spot. His home run in the 4th inning was his 18th of the year. There's a strike. Tonight in Detroit, Ray, interesting game between the Tigers, who obviously are very much in the thick of this wild card thing, against the Indians. The Indians have wrapped up the division. Bad weather. And there was a rain delay early in that game. And in the bottom of the 5th inning, the game was tied 3-3, and it was raining. And it was raining. I'm telling you, it was raining. And in the bottom of the 5th inning, Miguel Cabrera hits a 3-run homer.
Wow. And he got 5 in.
Inning comes to an end.
Yeah.
They go into a delay. It keeps raining. They call the game. Final score: Tigers 6, Indians 3 after 5. What can you do?
Can't do anything.
Obviously, the forecast was that it was just going to keep raining, and the Tigers, they very well may have won the game anyways. But the fact is it's a 6-3 5-inning win, and that's a huge win for Detroit. Doesn't bother the Indians necessarily. Tigers said, we'll take it. So if there's such thing as a huge hit in the 5th inning, that would have been it by Cabrera.
You're not surprised it was Cabrera. He's that good.
And it was, I mean, listen, I was watching it on TV, but it clearly looked like the umpire said, well, let's try to get this thing through 5, and then boom, Cabrera hits a home run.
Well, in a much nicer climate, Cole Calhoun hit a hanging break ball from Ross Detweiler and into the right field bleachers. There's never hit on the top of the wall. So Calhoun may play the rest of the week and try to get to 20. He's had a great season. If he can do the same against the Astros, who come in on Friday night.
And that is foul. Barry Vanover had to get out of the way.
Well, when you're holding a runner and you take a dive to the outside, that means it's foul. And Alonso seemed to catch everything. That one he did not. Broken bat by Calhoun.
So the count 2-2 to Calhoun. Spoils a pretty good pitch by Smith. Calhoun does the full circle walk after the foul ball. Another foul on this one, bounced behind home plate. Well, the story in this game is the bottom of the fourth inning. Angels just could not get the out.
A couple of opportunities.
Yeah, just kept rolling along.
It was a 7-run fourth last night. Yeah, helped the Angels defeat the A's. The A's did score 1. So the fourth inning, a bad inning for the A's. 15 combined, 1 inning. I understand some of the Angels wanted the Jet Bandy ground ball to be called a hit instead of an error by Maxwell. Think about plays in the inning. Fly ball to right center that could not be handled off Bandy's ball. Robinson in the middle between second and third. And then, of course, the ball that Bandy hit up the first baseline. So opportunities for the A's to avoid a huge inning, but that's something I'm sure they're thinking about in the future. Future as early as next spring. I thought Bob Melvin was interested when he was talking about trying to see who could bunt in the last week of the season.
Calhoun swings and misses, throw down to second, and the tag is in there. But Calhoun strikes out. It's just the second strikeout for A's pitcher.
It's interesting that this Maxwell caught the ball, waited, and then threw to second. I mean, it's almost like he did not see or know that the runner was on the move on the 3-2 because he caught the ball and then reacted, obviously late, for the runner to be able to get it safely. But that was just kind of strange that, you know, 3-2 and one out, you have to anticipate that he's going to be running. It's not 2 outs where he's guaranteed, but you have to assume he's going to be running. Be prepared if he does. Could have been a strike him out, throw him out.
So Trout steps in for his 4th at bat in 5 innings. He's 1 for 3. And a base hit, scored a run in the 4th. Slider for a strike. So Trout behind in the count 0-2. Everything is final in the American League. Strike 3 called. Trout took 3 pitches, and that will do it. So a walk, nothing else, and we're moving to the 6th inning. Davis is going to lead it off. 8-2, Angels lead.
In California teamed up to give 1st through 8th grade students the chance to earn 2 free tickets to a game with the A's Mathletics Workable program, which engaged students to solve baseball-related equations. For more information on this unique educational program, visit athletics.com/mathletics.
So Chris Davis will lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So the new pitcher is Mike Morin, 59th appearance for the young right-hander.
He's got a good changeup.
Yep, and he likes to throw it. So Davis, Alonso, and Valencia here in the 6th inning. A lot of work to do for the A's again tonight. First pitch to Davis is a fastball, 91 miles an hour for a strike. There's Cliff Pennington. He's now in the game at shortstop, and Nick Buss is out in right field. So Simmons done for the night, and Calhoun done for the night. Calhoun did his damage in this series, and he's going to enjoy the final 4 innings. Very high left field, and that baby is gone. Davis, home run number 41, RBI number 100.
He just wanted the dramatic, getting it all in one shot. So first career 100 season, 100 run batted in season, and very deserving. 41 home runs in his season. If he just stop right now, that is a great season. And that's just a typical high towering fly ball that has tremendous carry on it, and he left the plate figuring that it's gone. No doubt about it. So congratulations to Chris Davis.
Here's Yonder Alonso, and he rips one to right field. Buss is there. He makes the catch. 1 out.
Chris Davis with a hanging slider, just kind of floated in the middle of the plate, and don't make a mistake, it sounded like it's going to be a home run. Chris Davis from the area, and of course it has to be thrilling for the people, his family, to be able to see him hit number 41 and drive in his 100th on a night in which the A's gave up 8 in 1 inning. But a good night for Chris Davis, especially with that home run.
Valencia is going to get one through into center field, and he's got a hit. So Danny Valencia gets his first hit, and that's hit number 7 for the Athletics. So 8-3 ball game now, thanks to the Davis home run.
Another breaking ball and back up the middle. Valencia running hard in case it was caught by the shortstop Pennington, but it was not.
Fastball, Warren keeping it down. Simeon slices it foul. Simeon tonight has struck out, and he has hit a fly ball to left field. Simeon does not have a hit yet in this series. He's 0 for 5, running out of time.
Think about how many games Marcus Simeon has played this year, missing just the 3 with the birth of his child, and pretty much in the lineup. And marvel at Cal Ripken Jr., how he was able to put up offensive numbers playing every day, like 17 consecutive years, every inning. A rare specimen of a man, a player, to be able to play that many games consecutively.
2-1 to Marcus Semien. There's a shot. What a play by Cron. Scrambles after it, throws to second for 1. A heck of a play by C.J. Cron, and a very hard hit ball by Semien.
Those are the kind that you say made a right approach, trying to hit the ball behind the runner, and take a shot to right field, especially with a shift, and happens to be to the one player on the right side of the infield. How about this? The second baseman is the one took the throw. Pennington too far over in the hole with the shift, and second baseman Petit making the catch. And he said, yeah, trying to hit it there and hit it right to Cron at first.
So 2 outs, and Maxwell steps up. Triple and a ground out to second for Maxwell. Warren's pitch a little bit outside. Maxwell's triple was to deep left center field. It was back in the second inning. Unfortunately, the A's stranded him there as he got to third with 1 out. That was his first career triple. Infield slid over, playing Maxwell to pull a little bit. And through the legs of Bandy, and Semien to second.
Should be a wild pitch, except that Bandy came up with the ball staying down, and ball hits the dirt. Should be a wild pitch. Bandy, instead of going to the ground with his catcher's mitt, he came up, and fortunate for him, that usually happens. The ball stays down enough, and he hits the ball on the ground. It's hard for it to bounce up too much.
So now the runner in scoring position, that's Semien. Hit well to left field. Marte back. Marte near the wall, and Marte tracks it down. So the A's get a run thanks to Chris Davis, who gets his 41st home run and, more importantly, RBI number 100. There it is. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 8-3 ball game.
These players from the past at the 2017 Oakland Athletics Fantasy Camp held from January the 13th to the 19th at the A's new spring training facility in Mesa, Arizona. Spent a memorable week of baseball alongside legends like Bert Campaneris, Mike Moore, Shooty Babbitt, Dave Stewart, and many more. Play baseball every day like a pro and get the scoop on what it's like to be in the big leagues. For more details, go to hendersonbaseball.com or call 509-993-7338. How about Chris Townsend's getting a team together? You can play with Chris Townsend. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Townie showing off his baseball talents. He's a pitcher in college. So we'll see how he does. trying to put his own team together. You can sign up to play with Uncle Tom.
Something to think about.
Yeah. I can only coach. I can't get down and catch anymore. I can't run, so.
Don't blame you. We could sit on a golf cart and coach, though.
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Just sit down the right field line in a golf cart and coach. Just yell something once in a while.
Feel like the great late Ted Williams sat in the golf cart and said, "Let me show you how to hit."
That's going to maybe be a fair ball.
Let it roll. Let it roll.
I was thinking about it, but it did not.
Lonzo put it down, kicked it fair.
Lenny Randall style.
Yeah. That's that golf cart right there.
That's you and I, Ray. We sit in that thing. We pull down the right field line in Mesa, and we just sit there. Have a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Maybe if it's an afternoon, maybe an adult beverage, like some iced tea or something.
Iced tea.
Like
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer.
Great Arnold Palmer.
Yeah. How about having a drink named after Arnold Palmer? That's pretty good.
That's beautiful.
That's a good drink, too. Lemonade and iced tea. Matter of fact, JR could get us one and have one right now, but I don't think he will.
Smith gets the strikeout of Crow. So 3 straight strikeouts for Chris Smith.
Not a good hard slider this time. It was the aggressive Cron going after the slider out the strike zone, out of the. And see how Maxwell turned his palm of his glove up that time, and you take the sinker going down. You have your palm of your glove up. You can catch it easily. Something that you don't see a lot of catchers do anymore.
So that'll bring up Jeffrey Marte, strikeout, double, and a walk. The double and the walk happened in the same inning. "14 batters came to the plate in that long 4th inning for the Angels.
Looks like Chris Smith's getting settled in a little bit. Did walk in a batter, and the error on his catcher to allow another runner to score, but trying to eat up some innings for the skipper. And we hope a healthy Kurt Young, A's pitching coach. We haven't heard anything. He usually tell us about players, but
I'd like to know about Kurt.
I agree.
Fastball right there, 2-2. Close pitch, so 3-2. Sonny Gray started tonight. Seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Pitched 1 inning, gave up a hit, had a strikeout. It's just good to see him back out there. And that is fair. It's right down the third base line past Healy. And Marte's going to have his 2nd double tonight. And that is 10 hits now for the Angels.
Well, this time with a 3-2. He's close up for a strike, and Marte went after it, and just inside the line. Marte, a good night again for the Angels.
Marte, we've been impressed. 4 for 11 in this series is Jeffrey Marte. So Pennington gets his first at bat. He's hitting. He came into the game for Simmons.
Pennington was bothered on the disabled list with a hamstring injury, and I asked him how the hamstring's doing. He said good enough, which would indicate that wintertime it will be better. Right now, playable. Hamstring is always the toughest injury for a player to come back from, just because of leg usage, regardless of the position.
1-1 pitch, floats down and away. A 2-1 to Pennington. Pennington actually signed a 2-year contract to come to the Angels. And he'll be back next year. Pretty good backup infield.
Yeah, very
play
versatile.
all 3 positions.
Yeah, very versatile.
3-1 pitch. Just missed, and it's a walk. Pennington takes some close pitches, draws the walk. The thing with somebody like Pennington, not only can he play, anybody can play all 3 positions, but he plays all of them well. And I'm talking about third base, short, second, specifically second and short. He's probably above average defensively at both those spots.
And let's not forget, he's a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, that's right. If needed.
Yeah. Always had a good arm. Daniel Coulomb, the lefty, and Chris Smith, 4 walks. Sonny Gray did not walk him better. Detweiler, although he gave up a lot of hits, didn't walk him better. I think with Chris Smith, it's just a matter of he's throwing pitches knowing that he's not really overpowering with his fastball. Tops out about 88, 89. And good slider, good changeup, which is a palm ball. But the Angels been a little bit patient tonight. That usually is a little bit overly aggressive.
Bandy pops one up, coming down right near us, just out in front of us. Nice restaurant area right behind home plate. Those folks are hanging out. We will not get a lot of foul balls there. There's a popular spot. 0-2 pitch, rolled foul, headed for the Angels dugout. In the National League wild card race, the Mets won today. The Cardinals lost. The Giants are losing 2-0 in the 8th inning. And the Cardinals had a runner at third and nobody out in the bottom of the 9th, trailing 2-1, and they could not get the run home, and they lost 2-1. Smolinski coming in. Smolinski makes a nice running catch. So Bandy thought he had a base hit. So that's the wild card race with, again, the Mets winning. Now the Mets will have, now the Giants are still playing, so there's a half-game difference there. The Mets will have tomorrow off, and the Mets will then finish at Philadelphia. Giants will play straight through. Cardinals will play straight through. So that's where the half game will get straightened out after the Mets off day tomorrow. Pinder has it. Pinder to first. Side retired. So a couple of runners stranded, and we're going to the top of the 7th inning. 8-3. Angels lead. Are leading the Athletics. Top of the 7th inning. All right, we got a fun one. McDonald's True Stories. On this date in 1975, last game of the regular season against the Angels, ace pitchers Vida Blue, Glenn Abbott, Paul Lindblad, and Raleigh Fingers share a no-hitter. It's the first time 4 pitchers have accomplished such a feat. Ray Fosse came into the game in the 7th. He caught Lindblad and Fingers to end the game. All right, so you caught the final 3 innings.
Well, you know, it's one thing to have a group no-hitter, but how about 2 catchers?
That's right.
Tuning up for the postseason after clinching the division. Guys, I didn't see Hoodie's graphic on it. What, did he have a special graphic?
Islands in the stream. That is what we are. No one in between.
Hoodie, you're the best. Forget about the graphic. I just look at the heading.
Well, he promised us there would be a secondary meaning to every graphic the rest of the year, and he has not let us down yet. He's got 4 more games to go. A.J. Ochter comes in, the right-hander. Top of the 7th inning. So Ochter, pitcher number 4. It's been Meyer, Alvarez, Morin, and now Ochter facing Smolinski, Pinder, and Vogt. So 1-2 the count. In the dirt, blocked. About the game at Yankee Stadium tonight, Ray. Yankees beat the Red Sox 5-3. No big deal, right? Mark Teixeira had a walk-off grand slam.
Wow.
So that's some crazy endings.
Yeah.
But what makes that game even crazier, so generally when you walk off the field at Yankee Stadium and you're the visiting team and the Yankees just walked you off, you're a little down, but the Red Sox just went in and celebrated because they won the division by way of the Blue Jays losing a little bit earlier in the evening. So as soon as the Blue Jays lost, the Red Sox had won the division, but then they proceeded to lose the game. So how many times do you lose on a walk-off and then go in the clubhouse and celebrate? So Smolinski strikes out. So the Red Sox win the AL East.
Well, and for Jake Smolinski, getting a pitch that just kept diving out of the strike zone.
So with 1 out, Pinder hits. Changeup from Ochter. So the division winners have all been decided. Wild cards still up in the air. The only matchup that we can say we know for sure who's going to play who in the postseason, it's the Nationals and the Dodgers, and they will play in the National League Division Series, one of the division series, because whoever wins the wild card in the National League is going to play the Cubs. And the Red Sox, Indians, Rangers still all fighting for that #1 spot. Pinder is called out on strike. Let's take a look at the Mark Teixeira walk-off. Check this out. This is pretty crazy.
Was this a text message?
Yes, it was. Wow.
As Teixeira knocks one
that's kind of funny. So the Yankees were, the Red Sox wanted to kind of do it the traditional way. Have your closer save the game, but they had to relieve Kimbrel.
But for the Red Sox to clinch at Yankee Stadium, regardless of how they did it, has to be special for them. And for the Red Sox to beat the Yankees 4 straight after the Yankees had a 3-0 lead in the league championship in 2004. And then swept the World Series in their first championship in about 80 some odd years. Since then, all three World Championships David Ortiz has been a part of, and unlike a couple of Yankees, Rivera and Jeter, who finished their career without going to postseason, David Ortiz, who's announced his, and he will be. I thought it was a class move by David Ortiz also in Houston, or no, St. Pete or Houston, where the Red Sox were, and he asked them not to have a celebration on his final day, and instead a moment of silence for Jose Fernandez. So that was David Ortiz.
Stephen Vogt on the 3-1 pitch hits it high and foul. So 3-2 to Vogt, and it was 1 for 3. Payoff pitch is popped up. The shift on, it's Pennington, the shortstop, who's playing on the right side of second base. He backs up a little bit and he makes the catch. So we've reached the 7th inning stretch with the Angels leading 8-3.
Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So bottom of the 7th, 8-3, Angels lead the A's. And we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. It's Sportsnet Central. Brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's on our sister station, CSN Bay Area. I'll have our highlights here and get a full training camp report from the Golden State Warriors and get you all ready for Week 4 in the NFL for the 49ers and the Raiders. Ahmed Fareed and Dave Feldman will host. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. Daniel Colon comes in. So he'll face Cowart, Ortega, first two hitters, and the top of the order. Big chopper. Healy grabs it, spins and fires, one out. Cowart 0 for 4.
And Oberholzer is loosening, and all these pitchers, it must be something about the starting pitcher for the Angels, because this is the same group that pitched whenever this is started in Oakland by Meyer. Almost the exact same guys.
Keep rolling them in.
Yeah, inning by inning.
Ortega fouls it back. Ortega walked in the 5th. He came in for Shane Robinson. Robinson banged hard into the wall earlier in the game. He was attended to, scraped up his elbow pretty good. Don't know if that's why he came out of the game. It's possible. And a quick 0-2 to Rafael Ortega. Nick Buss is the on-deck hitter. Colomb grabs it. A little snow cone. All sat on the tip of his glove for a while. So 2 away for Colomb, and now Buss will hit.
Not trying to field your position. Looked like shortstop is going to be right to him, but might as well field it if you can. Be an infielder, prove that you can handle your spot, especially falling off a little bit towards third base side.
There's Buss, lefty on lefty. Chris Smith went 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 hit, no runs. He did walk 4, but struck out 3. Most importantly, he did not give up any runs. Breaking ball for a strike. 0-2 to Buss. Buss in the game for Calhoun. Calhoun, he did enough damage.
Yeah, time for him to take some time off, especially against the A's.
Good breaking balls. So Colomb has a nice inning. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout in the bottom of the 7th. 8th inning coming up. 8-3 Angels.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
In 2016, Chevron and the Oakland A's once again partnered to bring the Science of the Game program to local 1st through 8th graders. Bay Area students had the opportunity to earn a pair of tickets to a regular season A's game by completing fun and challenging science equations about the game of baseball. Get more info at athletics.com/science.
So we reached the 8th inning here at the Big A. All Angels, they lead the Athletics 8-3. So Brett Oberholzer is the new pitcher. A couple of starts for Oberholzer, but majority of his work out of the bullpen. 3-3, 5.72 ERA. He's been around a little bit. He saw him with the Astros fair amount.
Yep.
he was there with the Astros when things were not going well.
Yep.
Astros were losing a lot of games. Not the case anymore. So Oberholzer now with the Angels. So here's Healy, couple of doubles, Davis to follow, and then Yonder Alonso. Healy doubled in a run in the first and scored. And doubled in the third. And he's had him at third base with one out, but could not get him in. And the 3-0 pitch is outside. Leadoff walk. Never know. String some base runners together. I'm not giving up yet, Ray, and I know you're not.
No, absolutely not. No, I think, hey, until the final out, you never know. You never know.
Chris Davis with a home run in the 6th inning, his 41st of the year. And this one's hit to right off the end of the bat. Bus a long run, but he'll get there. And he's got it. So Davis 1 for 4 after the fly ball to right field. So most home runs versus the Angels in a season. Chris Davis 6 this year. Sal Bando, your old friend Sal Bando, hit 7.
It's a man in motion.
Sal Bando in 1969.
Captain Sal. Pretty good group out of Arizona State University. Captain Sal, Rick Mundy, Reggie Jackson.
Kept turning them out, huh?
Yeah.
Still do. Arizona State.
Yeah. Barry Bonds from there.
All kinds of. Cole Calhoun is from there.
Sogi.
You could put together a pretty good all-time roster from Arizona State. One and one the count, and Alonso has a single, knocked in a run. He has walked and he has lined out. So Yonder Alonso having a nice year for the Athletics, staying healthy. I think that's probably the biggest thing for him. And another hit. So Alonso 2 for 3. Last year, Yonder Alonso spent had a couple of stints on the disabled list and played in only 103 games. But tonight, Ray, his 152nd game.
That's great. And
that is good. I'm sure he's thrilled about staying healthy and playing every day for the most part.
Got a hanging breaking ball. That's a thing of beauty for a left-handed hitter. As we saw Calhoun hit one of the seats. So, hey, 3-run home run here, and the A's are right back in the game. Right? Make it a 2-run game.
Once he can do it, he's got 17 home runs on the year. And the first pitch to Valencia is outside. After Valencia, it'll be Marcus Semien. After Semien, Bruce Maxwell. Big bouncer foul past Ron Washington. Crowd tonight is 32,524.
A's fan cheering all the Angels fans as he took the baseball. Doesn't even get booed down here in Anaheim. Nice fans.
If it was these two teams battling for first place, maybe a different story.
Might see 40,000 people here too.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be a difference. Tonight, not quite, but they'll go over 3 million anyway. Good season ticket base.
Oberholzer long look in. He's got Healy at second, Alonso at first. Roll foul. Oberholzer coming down and in on Danny Valencia. He's now have 8 hits in the game. Two pitch, just a little bit low. Close pitch, now full count.
It's like Tom Woodring came up like he's going to ring him up, strike 3. That time of the game. Question here on 3-2. What kind of a pitch is he going to get? And Oberholzer not the type to rear back and try to throw as hard as he can. Maybe take a little off or a little movement. Maybe even a breaking pitch.
And he did. Valencia went after it. So 3-2 off speed and a big strikeout for Oberholzer.
Got him with a high changeup, and right there is just enough for, let's say, trying to stay back. He could not. Difference there, that changeup, enough of an off-speed pitch, unlike when Trout hit the home run off of Manaea Monday night. Threw him a 3-2 changeup, but it was a hard changeup and almost like a BP fastball. Trout did not miss it. Valencia unfortunately missed this one.
Here's Semien. First pitch blocked nicely. Semien 0 for 3. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. In the air to left field. Marte's back. Marte's at the wall, and that baby's gone. That's a 3-run homer, and now it's 8-6.
How about a one-handed home run? That's how strong Marcus Semien is, and completed it with that shot. That's a great swing.
Out in front just a little bit, didn't matter. So now the A's have made it officially interesting.
But they release the top hand, and Semien with his 6th 3-run home run of the season. And that's a big one. Gets the A's right back in it, down 2, and with an inning to go.
Nice play by John Axford.
Big John Axford on the mound. So Marcus Semien 27th and 73 runs batted in.
So that ties Trevor Story for the major league lead by shortstops. Story's been on the disabled list for a while. Corey Seager hot on his heels. So we got a pitching change. 8-6. A's are back in it.
MLB.com at bat app. You can stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day, live game video, highlights, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. So Marcus Semien, 6th 3-run home run. I'm just thinking, looking at the numbers, 28 3-run home runs by the Athletics this year, and only this time tonight, in a game back on July the 5th, the A's had a 3-run home run when it did not increase their lead. 2 games in which they got them close, and tonight, back in July, still trailing.
So Jose Valdez comes in, 6th pitcher of the night. So Valdez will face the pinch hitter, Matt Olson. So Matt Olson is hitting for Maxwell. Olson at 083. That's 1 for 12. And now 2-0. Maxwell was 1 for 3 in his night so far, or his night that is now finished. Olson trying to get aboard. And it's a shot scooped by Crone. And Crone made a very nice play, and that retires the A's. But it is now a ball game thanks to Marcus Semien, his 27th home run of the year. It's 8-6 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 6-9-2 for the Athletics, 8-10-0 for the Angels. So it was 8-2. Now it's 8-6. The A's have used the home run to get back in it. Davis a homer in the 6th. Semien a homer in the top of the 8th. So 8-6. The A's will get one more shot. Bottom of the 8th inning. John Axford comes in. So Axford going to face Trout, Crone, and Marte, the 2-3-4 hitters. Trout is DHing tonight. He's 1 for 4. So Axford makes appearance number 67. 6-4 with an ERA just touch over 4. And Matt McBride is the catcher. First pitch to Trout, drilled foul. You never know, they're ready. Trout sitting on 29 homers, sitting on 99 RBIs.
Check the left shoulder. Back of the left shoulder. Was it a helmet? Now it's the left shoulder, behind the left shoulder.
Trout, he's going to stay in.
Because it was going at his head. Fortunately, he was able to turn away and it stayed down.
Yeah, maybe he's not. So Trout is going to come out. So a scary moment here with Trout getting hit. G-Man Choi is going to pitch run. So Choi will run at first. And C.J. Cron will hit for the 5th time. He's 1 for 4. Cron doubled and scored in the 4th. These have crept in it. Well, you don't want to give up another run back. First pitch in there, first strike. 96 miles an hour from John Axford. Axford, his velocity is consistent every outing. 95, 96, 97. A little bit outside at 96.
I think that's an easy 95, 96. And of course, a good 12-6 curveball. And this is game 158 for the A's, and it has been consistent, been used in a good way all season out of the bullpen. As always, ups and downs for everybody.
Tapped foul. So Axford now ahead in the count, 1-2 to Cron. In the top of the 9th, the A's will have Smolinski, Pinder, and Vogt. Axford ahead in the count. Low, and now it's 2-2.
Bob Melvin right now managing this one to try to win it, which he has been ever since there was an 8-run 4th inning. And that's the only inning in which the Angels scored tonight so far.
Quick throw, Choi dives back. Defense plays Cron straight up. Just tapped foul up the third baseline. Three and 2. We'll see if Mike Scioscia would send the runner.
I think he will. He usually does, and you'd have to figure that everything would stay the same. He's looking at his chart, realizing the A's are coming back. One swing by Marcus Semien made it a 2-run game.
Runner does go, and it's popped up, and Alonso will not have any room. First row.
He's running. So well, you throw over and he gets a short enough lead to take off. See, it's an 8-6 game, and you wonder why postseason games take as long as they do. Because every pitch, you got to think about it. What you're going to throw, what you're going to swing at.
Swing and a miss. Throw to second base. And McBride threw it. Middle infielder's a little late getting there. So it's a strikeout and a stolen base.
You got to throw. Somebody's supposed to be there. It's between the two. And McBride throwing to the bag. And then they're coming across. You see it, Marcus Semien. Like the little confusion as to who was going to be covering.
So give Choi the steal. And here's Marte. Marte 2 for 3, 2 doubles, a walk, strikeout, run scored. A little bit outside with the first pitch to Jeffrey Marte. The Angels are thinking about an insurance run. Healy dives, he's got it. He gets up, he throws to first. What a play by Ryan Healy. They saved a run.
Yeah. Runner at second base, get down, get dirty just in case, at least knock the ball down. In this case, Ryan Healy able to dive, catch it, and get up and throw him out. That was a good play. Semien was maybe going to get to it. He was not going to throw out the runner, the hitter, Marte, but Ryan Healy is able to take care of that.
So that'll bring up Pennington for his second at bat. Pennington walked in the 6th inning. He's in the game for Simmons. First pitch at the knees for a strike. Chris Davis very shallow in left field, and he probably should be for Pennington.
If Pennington goes to left field, it would be slapping the ball, thrown outside, especially with good velocity by Axford. They're playing him to pull the ball, though.
Toward Marcus Semien, who has it, fires across, and they get the speedy Pennington side retired. On top of the 9th coming up, A's need 2 to tie and 3 to take the lead. 6 Angels, top of the 9th inning. And the gentleman that's going to be asked to try to save it for the Angels is J.C. Ramirez. He does have 1 save this year. It's his 69th appearance. So we'll see if the A's got any 9th inning magic here. Max Muncy is going to pinch hit for Smolinski. And then it'll be Pinder. And then it will be Vogt. So if anybody gets on, Healy and Chris Davis. So that's your goal, is to get Healy and Davis at bats in this 9th inning. If you do that, well, then you got a shot. So here's Muncy hitting for Smolinski.
Get 1 runner on base and you got a chance just to tie it.
First pitch is outside to Muncy. J.C. Ramirez.
Got a good fastball that he just showed Muncy in the first pitch, and got to be patient. Something that Muncy is very good at.
Angels have now used 7 pitchers in this game. The A's have used 5. Not close. 3-0. Well, the way this game is going, you got a feeling the A's will make it interesting in the 9th inning.
Right.
So now 3-1 to Muncy. He took 1. Muncy bounces it just foul. So 3-2.
Now they've already decided that Detweiler and Octor are the pitcher of records right now. And that's with Meyer just going 4 innings.
Skied toward left. And Marte waits. And that's a big out. So
yeah, it's a big comeback. Huge comeback for Ramirez after throwing 3 completely out of the strike zone.
I'm just looking at the relievers' numbers, and I guess it's the official scores decision.
Yeah.
He's going to pick a reliever who pitched the best, and in this case, Mike Morin gave up the home run in the 6th inning. Octor had a 3 up, 3 down 7th. Oberholzer got knocked around in the 8th. So you can see where he's got to pick one of those guys. Alvarez pitched the 5th inning, so he could have chose Jose Alvarez. But that's the type of situation. The scorekeeper has discretion to choose who he thinks should be the pitcher of record. Of course, that could change if the A's were to rally. So 1-2 now to Chad Pinder.
Yeah, if the A's score 3, it's a moot point.
That's right.
As far as determining who, from the official score standpoint.
Pinder can't lay off that high fastball, running in on him. So the 1-2 pitch just missed. Good pitch by Ramirez, maybe a little bit off the plate.
Pretty close. Very close. too close to take.
Hit hard but foul. Heads up Ron Washington. So 2-2 the count to Pinder. Pinder was 0 for 2. That one catches the outside corner, strike 3 call. And Pinder 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
Well, the first one wasn't called. This one was. Maybe a little bit higher. That Woodring liked it.
So the A's have now struck out 10 times tonight.
So it's a hard throwing. Ramirez stays outside to Stephen Vogt.
So here is Vogt. First pitch drops down and away at 97 miles an hour. Are there any relievers who don't throw 95 anymore?
Probably not anymore.
Man. Seems like every reliever either has a really good hard slider or a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah. and thinking about Joe DiMaggio, the 56-game hitting streak, he saw 54 different pitchers.
Yeah.
There have been 7 used tonight. 7
Yep.
pitchers.
So now 2-1 to Stephen Vogt. He took one trying to get on, doing the right thing. Vogt bounces it right side. Backhanded by Petit, and that's the ball game. So the A's go quietly in the top of the ninth, 3 up, 3 down inning, and the trip to Anaheim, not a good one for the Athletics as they get swept in the 3-game series by the Angels. Tonight's game took 3 hours and 18 minutes. The crowd was 32,524. So it's on to Seattle for the final 4 games of this season. Final score tonight, the Angels 8 and the Athletics 6. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Henry and Bipp starts right now.